Okay, hey fam. I got some questions yesterday from my impeachment posts, basically saying, okay, but can you explain what happens next? I don't understand this. What does this mean in layman's terms? Basically, where do we go from here? And I committed that I was going to do that. So first, I think would be helpful for us to know the definition of the word impeachment. Impeachment literally means to call into question the integrity or the legitimacy of a person or an office. So when the House is charged with impeachment, what that meant back in Old England and what that means current day in the United States is that the House literally calls into question the legitimacy, right, or the integrity of a person to hold the office. In political terms, it means that they have charged an elected official with misconduct, in this case, the President of the United States. So the House of Representatives has done its entire job by calling into question. And when they do that by a majority of the votes, the next thing that happens is that those articles, the two articles that they voted with the majority of the votes yesterday, first being abuse of power, second being obstruction of Congress, the next step is that it has to go into the Senate for a trial and a vote. So it's impeachment first and then removal. And all of these things are depending upon a simple majority of the congresspersons in the House of Representatives and a simple majority of the senators that are elected in the U.S. Senate. Just in case you haven't been following, the two articles that were passed yesterday, first, abuse of power. That's this whole Ukraine matter, the Ukraine affair, where the President of the United States put the squeeze on, basically, a small fledgling democracy, a country that was once only known for its corrupt leadership, recently elected a Democratic president, and this fledgling democracy was depending upon assistance, support, aid from the United States because they are fighting Russian aggression. What does that mean? It means that Russia, the former Soviet Union, is fighting to take over their territory, and they, with their own bodies, with their own citizens, are fighting that back to hold on to their sovereign land, to hold on to what to them is their homeland, Ukraine. And the United States of America, our Congress, passed with bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans, hundreds of millions of dollars, over $300 worth of aid to assist them in defending their democracy and fighting off the attack of Russia. So our president, the president of these United States, put the squeeze on this baby democracy and said, yeah, we have your money. Yeah, I know your folks are dying fighting for your democracy. Yeah, I know you're hungry. I know you're thirsty. I know you need us. But do me this solid, is basically what he said. What his literal words were, do us a favor. But what was that favor? It was, do me a solid. Do me a favor and publicly announce that you are going to investigate my rival. You are going to investigate the former Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. You're going to announce that you are investigating him for corruption, because I know that he's the person who's most likely to challenge me. My hair, see what cute hair does when you try and do a video? He's the person most likely to challenge me in the upcoming 2020 presidential election, and I want to cut him off at the knees before he even gets started. His weakness is his children. One of his children served on a board for a company named Burisma that's out of the Ukraine. Attack not just his child, not just the company, but him, and then you'll get your money. That's the squeeze. Y'all know what a shakedown is. People ask me to put it in everyday language, so you know what that is. When bruh man on the corner says, I know about your people around the block, they need this, they need that, I'll protect them so your babies can get from the tenement to the school safely. If you pay me $5 out of your every 50 out of your hair salon. This is straight gangsta taxes. This is mafioso tactics from our president. Did I mention that the person he was asking this foreign government to announce an investigation of was actually somebody who he took a sworn oath to protect and to serve? A citizen of the United States, never mind a political opponent. This is somebody in our family. This is like if you go 2 blocks down from your neighborhood and you say to a boss, a mom boss, a dad boss, a mafia boss, a couple of blocks down, check on one of my kids. One of my kids is trying to take the house. Wage a war against them. Who does that? Who's serious about family and loyalty does that? That's what our president did. Okay, so that's abuse of power. Second, abuse of Congress. That's the second article. So after he's caught, our president refuses to turn over documents, refuses to answer subpoenas from Congress, refuses to allow all his little henchmen to come and testify, because he knew and still knows anything that they say will be against him, whether they mean it or not. There's no good news. Do y'all remember Wicked Witch of was it the East? Yes, the East. Don't nobody bring me no bad news. Well, it's all bad news for our president. That's where we are. So he shut it down. Tell me, you who tell me we don't care about any of this, they're all the same, Democrat, Republican, Green Party, it's all the same. Which of you would be able to say to your son who's got trumped up charges or legitimate charges against them, you don't have to show up for court. You can tell all your witnesses not to show up. You don't have to provide any evidence. You don't have to do anything. Just stay here in the house with me and let them eat cake. Yes, I'm missing my hood references with my Elizabethan references, but you get me. Nobody can do that. When you're charged, you get extra charges if you don't show up. You go to jail just for the fact you are stepped back for evading notice and subpoena. Judge has to come find you. Oh no, you automatically going to jail. Everybody knows that. So that's exactly what we have going on here. And those are the 2 articles that have now gone to the Senate. Now what's going to happen next? We don't know. My favorite gangsta. Now she is real in this game. I don't care if you like her or you don't. Nancy Patricia Pelosi of the Pelosi gang of Baltimore Pelosi's. That one. Speaker of the House Pelosi. She has now successfully impeached this president. 2 articles of impeachment. But when they asked her, when are you taking those articles and walking them over to the Senate so that the Senate can quickly get rid of it and vote, because they've got a majority of the votes, so they don't even have to call any witnesses. Senator Mitch McConnell says, maybe we'll call witnesses, maybe we won't. But he knows he has his numbers. He knows he has his vote. So they're just going to call all those in favor of impeaching the president, all those opposed. He knows those opposed, the number is with him because he's got the majority in the Senate right now. The same majority that is putting a record number. I think we're at now 153 judges just since President Trump has been in office, and of them, like over 50 have been graded as unqualified by the American Bar Association. We've never heard of anything like this before, but they're just stacking the decks, stacking the courts. Who does that hurt, bruh man? Who does that hurt, sister girl? It doesn't hurt the people with money. It doesn't hurt the people with power. It hurts the people with skin like mine. Darker than mine, lighter than mine. Anybody that this country considers black. That's who it hurts. Because they're going to get stopped by the police. And they're going to go in front of one of these unqualified judges. And they're going to sentence him unnecessarily to jail time. They're going to give him a record that will last from the time that he's 16 and a half till the time that he's 99. They're going to finish certain prospects in some states to vote, to hold a government job, to get a taxi cab license, to drive an Uber, to manage a Fridays. Hear me. You think you're doing good because you got a tax break, but your real brother, your sister, will not be able to prosper in these United States with these judges. And that is because we elected a president who should have never been in office, with an assist from the Soviets. And without a majority of the votes, we have this man-child, this baby, this spoiled, petulant little man who has an issue mentally. That is who our president is right now. But he has been impeached, and that has only happened to 3 men, because we've elected no women. 3 men in the history of our country. And he is the first that it has happened to who's been elected in the first term of office. Only him. That's you, 45. You finally made history. You've done something more than anybody else before anybody else. So now we wait. Senator McConnell, what are you going to do? Hey, y'all, call your senators. Do you know there's 2 per state? Call your senators. Let your congresspeople know how you feel. Let them know. We want to hear the facts. We want to see the evidence. We want to hear from witnesses. Mulvaney's assistant. We want to hear from the ambassador. What kind of trial would you have without witnesses? I assure you, the government of these United States right now is stacking the deck against men who are black, against people of color. Are we going to let this stand? I assure you it matters. That $5,000 you got in tax break, it ain't worth it, y'all. It's not worth it. So I hope you understand the civics of it and the morality of it. The stakes, that's my child making noise in the back. The stakes are high. Do your duty as a citizen of the United States. Bye, y'all.